We got a little funny one for you guys. Okay. You know how Biden is the primary architect of the Femboy agenda with the 5G rays, like he sets up 5G towers all across the United States, and right, yeah, and eventually, he'll hit the button and it'll, right, yeah, you understand the breast growth, it's a whole thing, right? Well, I think this might actually be a bipartisan issue. Take a look at this clip, okay? This is from Tucker Carlson, or as I call him, Tucky. That's because we're friends, so we have cute nicknames for each other.
Yes, we're going to go and climb that hill. And here's why we want to do it. And we invite you, the public, to come with us on that journey.
They still have that whine. Remember from the Yang interview? There was that high-pitched whine in the background, and I thought it was an issue with the recording, but it's actually just his set has a... That's incredible. This guy's richer than God. Okay.
Amen. That is leadership. And Boris, just with the best will in the world, doesn't have that. And we've seen more U-turns in policy from the Johnson government than I've seen in any government in my lifetime.
Yes.
And
in a very embarrassing way.
Oh, some of it's been shocking.
So somebody who knows him told me, and
does anyone else feel like, and this is kind of ironic given what we're about to listen to, does anyone else feel like Tucker Carlson has a very submissive and breathable voice? Really, like, listen to him talk, it's like venting about your life problems to a gay best friend. Like,
in a very embarrassing way. In a very embarrassing way.
Oh, some of it's been shocking.
So somebody who knows him told me, and I should be interested in getting your take on this, that getting COVID emasculated him. It changed him. It feminized him. It weakened him as a man. Do you think that's...
Well, I think he was very seriously ill.
Oh, for sure he was.
And I think... one of the things we have learned from COVID is people who are 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds overweight tend to have fared very badly.
Sure.
Now, we don't talk about it much.
But the virus itself...
Pretty sure that's been talked about. Yeah, I mean, any respiratory issue is probably going to be exacerbated by being overweight because it compounds other... Whatever, it's not the point.
This is true, does tend to take away the life force in some people, I notice. I mean, it does feminize people. No one ever says that, but it's true.
Okay, so the reason this is incredibly funny to me is because Tucker Carlson, alongside basically every conservative commentator, they've been advocating for natural immunity. Like, hey, you don't need to get the vaccine. If you've gotten COVID, then you're 60 times as immune. And it's not true, of course. You should get the vaccine and the booster shot and all the others. But doesn't that mean he's kind of advocating for forced feminization? I mean, what he's saying right now is, oh, yeah, it feminizes you. And I've spent over a year, basically, saying that, yeah, just go ahead and get the virus. Don't protect yourself against the virus. Just go ahead and get it. Do you think he's trying to bring people to his level? Do you think he thinks Trump is feminine?
Look, I think the virus did affect him, but I think, let's be honest about it, it's the new wife, isn't it? I mean, it's, Carrie Johnson, or as she's now called, Carrie Antoinette, which the historians like. This is a very powerful, very strong woman.
What wife is this? Do we know? Or do we even keep count?
My wife.
Well, that's not the...
What is feminine energy? That's some Jungian bullshit. I'm sure you can approximate what feminine energy means, more or less. Look, I do think this is tremendously funny because with conservatism, Vosh, there's some truth to this. Well, COVID causes a number of hormonal imbalances. It will affect your testosterone level. There's no denying it. But look, first of all, just the contradiction between, it drains your life force, it makes you feminine, and also get natural immunity is very funny to me. But additionally, I do think it's going to be spectacularly funny seeing how conservatives adopt a kind of weird essentialist, spiritualist mindset. Look, okay, I'll put it this way. What did they do with the AIDS crisis? It was God's punishment to gays, they said, and the Reagan administration didn't mention it for years, and many people died. There was a need on the part of conservatives to make it more than just a disease. It had to be some vicious, meaningful, essentialist thing. So what do you think they're going to do with COVID? Like 5 years from now, down the line, how do you think they're going to morally essentialize COVID? Are they going to say, like, COVID mostly hit people in the cities, and that's what city folk get? They'll, like, play to the rural base. But that doesn't really reflect when you take a look at hospitalization numbers per county. So what's the direction? I mean, it drains your life force. Do you think that as COVID continues to circle the globe, I mean, you've got the Omicron variant, eventually people are going to start, like, advertising themselves as having never had COVID on, like, dating apps and stuff, Tinder, you know what I mean? Be like, all my life force is preserved. And they'll be like, it's other people, they gotten sick too, maybe 3 times with increasingly minor variants. But they'll be their sperm will be raw and fertile. Oh, do you think COVID will make people Chinese? Like spiritually, I mean, like people like Tucker Carlson are going to be like, real Americans like me and other people who haven't gotten sick, but once you've gotten the China flu, they say a little bit of China stays in you, something like that. It sounds bad shit, but I mean, we're talking about American conservatives here. I don't understand why we can't speculate. I could make up anything, and honestly, it would be about in line. Don't give them ideas.